Have you ever had your high output LED lights or any lights that you have burn out the plugs on like your 9005 series, your H11s, your headlights, and it burns out, the plastic burns or the wires burn away and they leave exposed wires and your lights keep going out? Well, I got tired of that, and so I went out and I ordered ceramic light sockets. So this is made out of ceramic, so it can't burn. And these are going to be my new light sockets. Other than I am going to upgrade. I don't like the little thin wires. They still come with your standard size wire. That is like, what is that? A 14 gauge wire. So it was awfully too thin. So if you ever done a voltage drop test on your lights, you'll notice that your alternator might be putting out, 14.4, 14.6, 14, even 14.8. But by the time it goes through the relay, and yes, this is a big relay, by the time it goes through the relay, all the wirings, every time there's a connector. So every time you have one of these little push connectors going into the fuse box and all the way from the battery, by the time it gets to the connector here, every time you have one connector and you put high amperage, you have about 0.2 of a drop, a voltage drop through every connector when you have high current going through them, especially when the wire is undersized. If you notice, the rating on some of your high output lights is 55 watts. And if you look in the table for the gauge of the wire that you need for 55 watts so you don't have a voltage drop, this is what you need. If you don't want voltage drop, you have this, not this. So what I'm going to have is, through your relay that's normally through your system, in your fuse box, I'm going to replace it with this. This is a 120 amp relay, so it has very large contact points. You won't have voltage drop. That'll be the connectors. This will be off the battery. I did not get my circuit breaker for this yet, and that will go to this, but this is going to get changed with, these are silicone high temperature wires. So you ever notice how the wires burnt? So this will be the 10 gauge, and the 10 gauge will replace this. I'm going to drill this out and I'm going to custom make it. Not all of it could fit in there, and that's why I have the little connectors to replace. Where are they at? You can see them, the little metal connectors in there. And I'm going to custom fit this into this. The only other option is you get your, oh, I don't have a light bulb here. So you get your 9000 series, your H11 or whatever, and you literally solder the tip of the wire, so your 10 gauge wire, you put it over the two little studs and you solder them right onto it inside the housing. So you know how your light bulb has the two studs sticking out, so you could slip on your connectors that are inside here. Well, you skip this part and you solder these right to the clamps right there. You solder these directly to them, and then you fill that up with a high temperature epoxy inside there, and it becomes permanent part of the bulb itself, and you have no chance of it getting loose or hot and burning away, and you get no voltage drop. And so you get your full 14 plus volts or 13.8 volts right to your light bulb. No burnout, and no more burning up wires because they're made out of silicone. No more voltage drop because it's 10 gauge instead of 16 gauge or whatever that is. And brighter lights. All right, that's a little project going on right now.